Wondering what New York's hottest club in 2025 is? It's the UN, featuring a brand new star at a crucial moment. Hey guys, this is Maggie from Non-State Actress, and I'm going to explain to you why the US ambassador to the UN is actually a super important job. The UN is basically a reality show mixed with a Broadway musical, and this next season is slated to be really juicy. As the world becomes even more interconnected, the UN is one of the biggest, both literally and figuratively, spots for the US to show up. I mean, the UN is literally where it gets decided who is a country and who isn't. Even North Korea sends people, and the North Koreans hate sending people anywhere that isn't a Russian battlefield because the press is just always bad. Plus, the US pays like half the production costs, bills, for the UN. And it makes sense because it is on our home turf of Manhattan. But it also makes it even more important who we vote onto the wild and crazy island to represent Team US. You can tell everything you need to know about the US's vibes to the UN from who we send. And this season's contestant is the youngest in US history. You guessed it, she is a hip, millennial congresswoman from New York. But not that one. While the last few years have featured a former career Foreign Service officer, the outgoing US UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, and incoming nominee to be the ambassador, Elise Stefanik, share something important in common. And that's who their boss is, at least in a structural sense, which tells us an awful lot about how the US is going to think about the UN going forward and how it has thought about it for the last few years. In both cases, the US UN is a member of the president's cabinet, a direct report to POTUS instead of the Secretary of State. If you're another country's ambassador to the UN, you know this means business. You want someone who'll say, I'll call my boss about it, and you know who their boss is, and that person has enough oomph that you believe that their boss is going to take that call and care. This is a big job. Sure, like any other ambassador, Stefanik will have a hardworking crew of career Foreign Service officers by her side. But there are cushier, long lunchier ambassadorships out there where you get to dig into the finer points of a single nation's culture. The US UN is not a contestant on those shows, though. In fact, she is a contestant on Supermarket Sweep with a side of Real Housewives. So fingers crossed, she can hold onto the cart with both hands.